Over the last few years, I have read almost every book on money, investing, and productivity, from classic works covering fundamentals such as Rich Dad, Poor Dad, to those focusing on psychology, like The Psychology of Money, and even books delving into productivity and life hacking like The 4-Hour Workweek. In this video, I'm going to break down the 7 most important lessons I have learned from these books and show you how you can implement these insights in your life today. But before that, make sure to subscribe to this new channel to learn more about how to make money online. Also, if you want to speed up your success and achieve financial independence, check out the first link in the description below. So, let's start with the basics and the most popular one, and then finish with the most important one for me. The first lesson comes from the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. The main lesson, or concept in the book, revolves around the difference between assets and liabilities. Kiyosaki teaches us, in a very didactic way, the concept of an asset, which is something that puts money in our pocket, while liabilities take money out of it. This book is so popular and relevant because it covers the foundations of finance and money that aren't taught to us in school, and sometimes even in college. The history of the book is based around the author's 2 dads, his biological dad, who recommends following the traditional path of getting a secure job and working 9 to 5 for 40 years until retirement, and his second dad, who was actually his best friend's father. This father dropped out of college and became an entrepreneur, building a business empire. The second dad achieved success by focusing on acquiring assets that generate income instead of spending money on liabilities. As Kiyosaki explains, assets can be anything that brings money into our pockets and increases in value over time. They may include investments such as stocks, bonds, real estate, side hustles, or businesses. On the other hand, liabilities are things that take money out of our pockets and lose value over time. These are the things like cars, houses, shoes, watches. In the book, Kiyosaki also introduces the concept of the cash flow quadrant, which represents the 4 ways to earn money and increase assets. These ways are: 1. Being an employee and working a 9 to 5 job. 2. Being self-employed or having a small business. 3. Being a big business owner. 4. Being an investor. The main lesson and ultimate goal for anyone who wants to achieve financial freedom is to transition from 1 to 3 and 4 on the cash flow quadrant. The 4-Hour Workweek. The main lesson or concept I've learned from the book revolves around the concept of not working less, but working smarter. The book teaches us how anyone can live a retired millionaire lifestyle by combining 2 principles: automation and delegation. Upon reading the book, it vividly illustrates how something initially perceived as far-fetched and seemingly unattainable is, in fact, more achievable than we might think. Through the implementation of automation and outsourcing, it becomes possible to accomplish more with less effort. Ferriss emphasizes the importance of automating as much of one's work as possible. This includes using technology and outsourcing tasks that are not essential for personal handling, thereby freeing up valuable time. So, tonight, before going to sleep, think about all your daily activities and consider what aspects could be delegated or automated to optimize your time. The third lesson comes from The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. The main lesson or concept I've learned from the book revolves around financial behavior and the inherent irrationality in human decision-making when it comes to money. The book delves into the behavioral aspects of personal finance and investing, emphasizing that achieving financial success goes beyond comprehending mere numbers. It also involves understanding the behaviors and psychology that underlie financial decisions. Emotional intelligence and self-awareness emerge as pivotal factors in ensuring financial well-being. One key aspect illuminated by the book is the influence of emotions on decision-making in personal finance. Emotions such as fear, greed, and overconfidence can trigger impulsive and irrational financial choices. Recognizing and effectively managing these emotions becomes imperative for making sound financial decisions. Morgan Housel also teaches us about behavioral biases, which represent systematic patterns of deviation from rationality or normative standards in judgment and decision-making, significantly impacting financial decision-making. The book introduces 3 behavioral biases as examples. 1. Loss aversion bias. individuals tend to feel the pain of losses more intensely than the pleasure of gains. This aversion to losses may lead to decisions aimed at avoiding losses, potentially resulting in poor financial choices. 2. Overconfidence bias. This bias manifests as the tendency to overestimate one's own analysis, knowledge, or skills, potentially leading to erroneous financial decisions. 3. Recency bias. The tendency to assign greater importance to recent events when making decisions, particularly relevant for investors. This bias can potentially lead to flawed decisions. In summary, the main lesson of the book is to heighten awareness of these behavioral biases when dealing with money. This awareness empowers individuals to make more rational decisions, fostering a greater understanding of the psychological factors influencing financial choices. The fourth lesson comes from Atomic Habits by James Clear. The main lesson or concept I've learned from the book revolves around the power of tiny habits, referred to as atomic habits, and how their cumulative effect can lead to significant personal and professional transformations. The book delves into the notion of making small changes to achieve remarkable results over time. James Clear underscores the compounding effect of small habits, likening it to the way money compounds with interest. While small changes may appear inconsequential in the short term, their collective impact becomes substantial over time. Clear introduces the OAES framework for habit formation in the book. This framework serves as a guide for individuals to structure their environment and behaviors in a way that supports the development of positive habits. The framework emphasizes that habits are more likely to stick if they are made obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. In summary, the primary lesson of the book is to impart the understanding that long-term success can be achieved through a focus on continuous improvement via small and consistent actions. By recognizing the power of atomic habits and their compounding nature, individuals can strategically work towards transformative personal and professional outcomes. 100 Million Offers. The fifth lesson comes from 100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi, a mentor and entrepreneur whom I greatly admire. His book, titled 100 Million Offers: How to Make Offers So Good People Feel Stupid Saying No, is a comprehensive guide on crafting compelling offers. For entrepreneurs, this book is a must-read. The main takeaway centers around an image in the book where Hormozi encapsulates the key strategy for creating perceived value, especially in the context of sales. In essence, to add value to anything you're offering, the approach is to promise and demonstrate that your product or service has a higher likelihood of achieving the desired outcome. Furthermore, you have to emphasize that this desired outcome holds transformative significance in your client's life. Simultaneously, convey that this outcome can be fulfilled without significant effort or sacrifice and in a shorter period of time. This strategy encapsulates the art of enhancing perceived value in the eyes of the client, making it a compelling proposition. This lesson is everything you need to start a successful business. The sixth lesson comes from The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. The main lesson or concept I've learned from the book revolves around the idea of putting money to work for you. The book delves into the significance of saving and investing wisely as a means to construct long-term wealth and ensure a secure retirement. The primary lesson is to instill the practice of saving a minimum of 10% of our income each month and investing it strategically to leverage the power of compounding. This is the shortest lesson of all 7, but it is one of the most important. The seventh and final lesson comes from The 80-20 Principle: The Secret to Achieving More with Less by Richard Koch. The central lesson or concept I've learned from the book revolves around the Pareto Principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. The key insight is that a small proportion of causes, 20%, often yields a large proportion of results, 80%, across various facets of life and business. The book underscores the notion that the universe tends to be predictably unbalanced. Ultimately, only a few things truly matter, emphasizing that it is possible to achieve more significant results with less overall effort and resources if we focus our efforts on the vital few tasks. This lesson, above all, stands as the paramount lesson among the 7 insights I've shared in this video. If there's a single transformative action you can take to reshape your life, It's embracing the power of the 80-20 rule. Imagine the profound impact of directing your attention solely to that crucial 20% of activities in your life that have the potential to yield a staggering 80% of the results. This isn't just a concept, it's a game changer, a catalyst for unlocking unparalleled growth and success. The 80-20 principle isn't just about efficiency, it's about focusing your energy where it truly matters, and in doing so, reshaping the trajectory of your life. Take this to heart and watch as your efforts become more purposeful, your results more substantial, and your life more profoundly shaped by what truly counts. The 80-20 rule isn't merely a strategy, it's the universe law. Well, now that you know which are the 7 most important lessons I've learned from over 50 books I've read on money, investing, and productivity, don't forget to like the video and also to subscribe to our channel to see more videos about money hacks and successful online entrepreneurs. Hopefully, the next video can be about you. And finally, don't forget to check the first link in the description below if you want to change your life using the internet. We will see you in the next one. Until next time, goodbye.